communication apprehension. And we said that it is an anxiety level. We said that it is an anxiety level that the person might have when addressing people. When you talk and communicate with people, you might feel fear. And the anxiety level will be high. And that could be observed. That could be observed through what? Shaky hands. Shaky hands. Disconnected communication. And so on and so forth. And drought mouth. You need to have water from time to time. And sweat sometimes. And all those appears at the first time when you address people. But by so doing, when you repeat communication from time to time, you might not need, these things might not appear again. These things might not appear again. And we said that there are certain effects of communication apprehension on the communicator. And those are like internal discomfort. Yani internally you are not comfortable. Or the desire to avoid communication. Communication avoidance. Or communication withdrawal. You need to withdraw the communication process. Or over-communicating. And we mentioned that last time. Those could be reduced by so many techniques. One of those techniques, one of these techniques is, how can I reduce that? How can I reduce an anxiety level of communication inside the classroom? How can I do that?
Reducing the demands.
Yeah, reducing the demands. Yani for verbal, oral demands. Do not exceed the limits. Yani do not be very demanding on your student. Do not be critical. We mentioned that. Do not be, critical. لأنه sometimes, when the student feels you need more and more, that might, that might work against their wish and their willing, and they might take them to be uncomfortable and not communicating inside the classroom. If they feel you are asking for more and more, if they feel that you are asking more and more. What other techniques? What other techniques that we will use to reduce or preventing this communication apprehension? Huh? Be consistent. This is another technique that we will use to reduce or prevent such an anxiety level. And what else? What else? I mentioned that last time. Khalid? Yeah, evaluate, and do not be very evaluative. Do not be very critical. When students give their feedback and their communication and participation with you, do not be very critical. Do not be very evaluative. Their language, their grammar, the structure, and that. If you do that, that will increase their anxiety level. But if you do not care about it so much, that might help them to overcome such problems. What else, Abdullah?
Increase students' control to the success.
Control over success. The students also, they have to have these attributes or these traits. What else? Any other techniques that we mentioned last time? Fadal?
Don't ask question the student if you don't want to ask.
What?
Don't ask the students question if the student don't want to.
Yeah, don't ask the student too many questions, and that might prohibiting other students from being in such a situation. Just like evaluating them, not evaluating them very, very critically and analytically. نعم تفضلي راسية. What? Don't call student names at صدر. يعني if they feel that and this is a problem actually. This is a problem. Sometimes inside the classroom you might sudden call Haitham, and at that time Haitham might not be with us in a daydream or in doing any other thing. That also will create, situations in which the student might feel uncomfortable for communication. So in order to help the students participate and communicate and reduce their anxiety level and communication apprehension, you have to deal with such points. Be consistent, don't call their name, don't be very critical, don't be evaluative, try to avoid ambiguity and novelty, and so on and so forth. Okay? Are there any other techniques that we could use so as to prevent communication apprehension? Any other things? Okay, that was what was we were talking about last time. As you know, our today's lecture will be different presentations from students. And I hope that all of you are prepared for this round of communication. And as I mentioned to you, this will be evaluated. I will